Hey everyone, this is Alex with you with another video from one of my favorite parks here in Tbilisi, Georgia. Today we're going to discuss creative expectations, responding to a question from Lou Theodore, an artist, who asked me about what my take on taking creative action, whether that be doing a painting or writing something or making a new video. How do we do it without feeling worried about what we're about to create? And how do we do it when we have all these expectations we pile on ourselves, all these doubts and worries that come with the creative process? So effectively, how do we take any kind of action at all that is creative or innovative or inventive in some way? Because there's a lot of pressure obviously on the creative process, because you're making something from nothing, aren't you? So that can be quite a daunting process, no matter what kind of creative output it is. And Lou was talking about how when she was stuck with drawings or paintings, when she had to do some work and didn't really know what to do, she'd go back to the sketchbook and scribble down whatever came to mind. And I think that's a great approach. I think a lot of the pressure we put on ourselves comes down to wanting to make a really good go at what we're doing. We want to be perfect. We want to do a good job. We don't want to fail. We don't want to make mistakes. And as a result of that, we have these big expectations of ourselves. We want to be perfect. We want to do a really, really good job. And of course, when we have that kind of pressure, we might find ourselves at the drawing board sitting there twiddling our thumbs forever, because we're so frightened to take action, because we don't want to let ourselves down. We don't want to let the world down, because in our minds we have set out to create something really amazing. So of course that's going to be difficult. So how do we get around that? Well, it's all about, what I found very useful is about changing your strategy for creating anything. If you have trouble creating and you feel stuck and you feel worried and you're fearful about creating stuff, that's because you have a philosophy that says, I must create amazing art. And of course, this is going to be very difficult. Well, it's difficult depending on your philosophy. Obviously, we live in a world where we're surrounded by amazing quality art. We effectively live in a virtual world. So we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we see all the amazing stuff that other people are producing, great videos, and it makes us often feel inferior because we see all this stuff, we compare ourselves to others, and we think, gosh, we're not doing a very good job here. Look what these guys are doing, seemingly effortlessly. And if you have a philosophy that says, I need to create amazing art like everyone else, or like my idols do, then you're going to be piling a lot of pressure onto yourself. So the way around that is to change your strategy. Change your strategy from I need to create the very best art to I need to create momentum. I need to take some kind of a step towards movement. And that, of course, that takes the pressure off, because suddenly you're in a position whereby you don't have to create the world's best art. You just simply need to do something that creates momentum. So have that philosophy as your creative fuel, rather than trying to be the very best in the world immediately. Have a drive that says, or have a strategy that says, I need to simply create momentum. And one of the best ways to do that is to have a policy, a strategy of creating a lot of stuff. As Lou said, see it as a sequence rather than every individual piece being the be-all, end-all, final, scary piece. It's about seeing things in a progression, and momentum is part of progression. So that's really my take on it. I think it's all down to strategy and philosophy and how you think of things and mindset. And if you see your strategy as being that of just creating momentum, then the next creative piece is going to be less high pressure, because all you need to do is move. All you need to do is put something down, and it can be total crap. And even if it's total crap, you'll be happy with that, because you'll know that you would have achieved your goal of creating some kind of momentum, some kind of movement. So do it that way. Be someone who goes out there and creates momentum in their lives, rather than creates the very best. I know that it's difficult when you look at the work of other people and you see amazing stuff and you want to compare yourself, but don't forget, all of these guys were not overnight successes. What you're seeing is the culmination of days after days after days and hours and hours and hours of disappointment, of frustration, of not creating the very best, just simply a progression, a sequence. And the best way to get yourself on the path of sequence is momentum. And with the right kinds of momentum, you will eventually have the power behind you to create really amazing things. So don't worry about the work itself, just worry about the energy that you're putting into it, and make sure that you're turning up that thermostat from feeling completely static about what you do to simply moving. And movement creates passion. It's not the other way around. It isn't a case of you waking up in the morning feeling passionate and creative and amazing and then going out and creating art. It's about committing to movement, committing to action, committing to creating momentum in your life. And that might very, very well start with a little scribble in a sketchbook. It might be writing whatever comes to mind for 20 minutes, for an hour. It might just be meditating and thinking on a topic by yourself in a room for a bit. So focus on action rather than perfection, and eventually that creative spark will build and grow into an inferno, and that's when you want to seize the opportunity and just really build on that energy that you create for yourself. And so focus on momentum and focus on quantity. Don't worry about the quality so much. Quality will come in and of itself when you start feeling that passion that arises through action. So hope that helps, guys. It's tough when we have high expectations of ourselves, but change the strategy and you'll start to forget about expectation and you'll start to focus on energy, movement. What are your takes? How do you motivate yourself to create art, to innovate, to invent, to create things that no one's seen before? How do you do that, and how do you do more of it? I'd love to hear your comments, your feedback. What do you think of what I would love to hear of what you thought of what I said. And do subscribe to these. Make sure you're following me here on wherever you're watching this. Like this if you liked it, and make sure you follow my newsletter at alexmathers.net. Extra content will be found over there. Any ideas for future videos? Would love to hear from you. Greetings from Tbilisi, Georgia. Over and out. This is Alex.